Hi, it's Pete Moore and welcome to PCM Guns. Okay, when I first launched the new channel about 5 weeks ago now, one of the first guns up was the Schultz Larsen, a Danish company, Classic, which was just a sort of a long action hunting rifle. Nicely made, synthetic stock. Rather unique to the Schultz Larsen design, because it doesn't look like it, is that all the guns are switch barrel rifles. Now, they've made a switch barrel rifle for short action calibers. It's called the Legacy. It doesn't look any different from the Classic. Exceptionally well made, beautiful bluing. The barrels in this case are 22 inches and they are cut rifle barrels and tin lapped. And with the 6.5 Classic I tested some time ago, it just shot like a demon. They offer it in a number of calibers, all specifically short. So you've got 222 rem, 223 rem, with a choice of 1 in 8 twist or 1 in 10 twist. So if you want to fire heavier bullets or lighter bullets, then that should roughly cover it. 300 blackout, which is the subsonic round, and a round called 6.5mm, which is not new, but you may not have heard of it. Basically, it was an attempt to increase the lethality of the M16 platform by offering a larger bullet. And so what it is, it's a 223 case necked up to 6mm. You know, some people thought it was a great idea, other people didn't, but it's not exactly mainstream anymore. But what it's great interest to me is the fact they also do it brand new in 6.5 Grendel, which is, I'm a big fan of Grendel. I've got a CZ527 custom, had it for about 12-15 years, and I shot the Grendel in a straight play AR-15 platform years ago, and I really liked it because what it is, it doesn't use much more powder than the 223. It uses 6.5 bullets, which have a good ballistic coefficient, and it just shoots really well. And for a round that's shorter than a 243, it's approaching those sort of levels of energy. I'm not saying it actually gets there, but it's really, you know, it punches well above its weight. And it's not the round for everything. I've shot roe deer with it, I've shot fox, I've shot muntjac with it, so it's good for that. Technically, you can push the round to about 1800 foot-pounds, so it's large deer legal. However, I've never shot a red or a fallow with it, and I don't really intend to unless it's really, really close. But you've got a little bit sensible. But see, this is the gun. So it looks like a Classic because it is just a scaled-down Classic, to be brutally honest. They only do it in a wooden stock, and it is left and right-handed. If you look carefully, there's a slight palm swell there. And if you had a left-handed gun, that would be on the other side. So it's a nice bit of timber, nice recoil pad, good checkering, but I just don't like wood on hunting rifles. I was told by the importers Alan Roan that they are not considering making synthetic stock. For me, this rifle would be perfect with a thumbhole stock, but that's the way it is. So it comes with a 22-inch barrel, it's like a sort of light medium. It's threaded 14x1, or you can get half by 24, which is quite nice. And when we looked at the Classic, we saw it with Schultz Larsen's QD scope mats. They're QD rings actually, and the top of the receiver is cut specifically for these. They're dedicated, and you can position the scope a half-inch back or half-inch forward to suit eye relief if you're wearing heavy clothing in the winter, things like that. But they also do a Piccadilly rail, and I thought we'd look at that because I've never looked at one before. So that's how it comes with the QDs on. They just go on, slide forward, and you clamp them up. The Piccadilly rail is, as you might expect, it's a section rail that long. There's 4 threaded and tapped holes on top of the receiver. It bolts straight to it. And in this case, I've got a big Hawk on here. It's a 6-24. I wouldn't hunt with it, but I've got it here just for actually testing, because it's just a nice fine reticle in QD contest amounts. But it really is just another sweet rifle from Schultz Larsen. Okay, so let's look a bit deeper. Okay, the controls are quite basic and simple. Low lift bolt here, as you can see, the handle comes up about 60 degrees. So it doesn't go right up, which is quite nice. Same token, you've got 3-position safety. That's fire. Goes to the middle, which is safe. with bolt operation, then to the rear, bolt locked. Not sure you can see it, but inside there's a little tag that comes out to indicate that the action is cocked. You can see it and you can feel it. Magazine catches forward on the well, little button, press up, pops out. It's a 3-round single column, which is standard, which is more than enough capacity. It's the trigger blade, quite large, wide, smooth, nicely curved, very good on the finger. Schultz Larsen supply T15 Torx key. You slack off these 2 screws here and then literally pull it back about 1/2 inch and it comes straight off. Okay, bolt comes out, magazine's already out, and underneath here is the bottom metal. Again, get a Torx key supplied. Front and rear, just to let you know that the front screw is shorter than the rear one, so when they're going back, don't make that mistake. Come out, and out comes the bottom metal, which leaves the barreled action to be free. All this does now is just lift straight up. You can see it's out and it's free. Slight difference on the wooden stock guns compared to the synthetic is synthetics just have the large screw holes in the stock that you could argue they're pillar bedded because the hole is larger than the screw, which is quite common, but that's all they have. On the wooden guns you get metal bearing surfaces either side of the recoil lug, and if you can look in there you can also see there's a metal pillar. The rear one is the same, there's a curved bearing surface which incorporates the pillar. Obviously on wood a pillar is required because wood is a softer material than any synthetic. Barrel removal is easy. Take your big Bonders Torx screw, break these 2 screws out like so. You don't need to remove them, just give them a couple of turns out, then the whole barrel pulls out the action like that. If you look, you can see there's a cutout in there, which there's a pin in the forward part of the action that locates it, and when you put that together, as I said before, the barrel goes in. You then close the bolt because the barrel and the bolt they engage. There's no abutments in the action at all. It's all in the barrel and the bolt. And once that's closed shut, you then screw down these 2 screws. Literally, you get them tight. You give another 1/4 turn. That's all you need. The trigger is fully adjustable from 2 to 7 pounds. Mine came out of the box probably about 3, and I just knocked it down a bit. But there's 3 adjustments on here. This rear screw here gives you the travel over the sear. This top one here is the weight of pull, and this one it gives tension on the sear so it's engaged properly. Great Dane Rifles, which is Alan Rowan's website, they've got some really super videos of how to do all the adjustments, but it's really quite simple. So, but I still say it's worth looking at it because it's nicely explained by people that import the guns and know what they're talking about. Okay, so that's the barrel action back in, bottom metal on, longest screw at the back, shortest at the front. Just hold the action down, wind them in like so, just so they nip up. That's engaged, then give them just a tighten like so on each one, and then finally a 1/4 turn on each one just to bring them in. This T key acts like a Torx because it flexes once it reaches its tension. Finally, scope goes back on, so you put the lugs where you want them to be, and then you see it just slides forward, so it's fully engaged front and rear. Then all you do, like the rest of the gun, it's dead simple. You just wind these in till they're tight, then approximately a quarter of a turn, like so, and it's pretty much rock solid. Just put the mag back in so we don't lose it. So